this is Cristina Lorefice here, and welcome to Zooming with, and today I'm Zooming with Gregg Wallace. You were a greengrocer, and then you are the main presenter of MasterChef, which had like, what, 4.5 million viewers?
It goes between like 3 and 7 million. Yeah, but there are 3 strains of MasterChef. There is the amateur one, the standard one. There is a celebrity one, and there is also a professional one for professional chefs.
Let me tell you a little bit about how I found you. First of all, I found you through my friend, our common friend, Paul. Paul, yes. So I told him what I'm doing. I told him I'm doing a project with Zoom, which I was supposed to do live, like traveling around and meeting people and interviewing them. But then all of this pandemic happened. So I'm like, now what? So I'm like, okay, Zoom, here we come.
Yeah, I've got 2 travel shows for 2 different broadcasters, and I can't do those either.
Yeah, it's changed a lot of people's plans.
Yeah.
Before we
But I feel that we're getting back to normal now. I feel that I don't think we're ever going to have the same normal, but I feel that we're all going to be slowly stepping back into work, which is a good thing.
So I was going to say, we have 15 minutes.
Perfecto.
You know, when Paul told me that he knew you, I'm like, yeah, I want to bring in my Zooming experience somebody that knows about food. And so here it was perfect for me. Being Italian, you know, I love food, and I had to have somebody that could talk about food. Il mangiare.
Perfect. Perfect.
So, mangiamo. But what really got me and resonated with me is the book that you wrote. You wrote a book called Life on a Plate.
Autobiography.
Yes. So I'm a counselor and a life coach, and often I ask this question. This is why it resonated with me. I ask, what is on your plate right now? You know.
Good question.
Right? And so is there greasy sausages and then greasy chips? What's on your plate right now? And do you think that what is actually on our plate food-wise reflects what's going on personally in our lives?
No, not at all.
Tell me more.
Well, what's on our plate is just what we choose to eat. And what we choose. The only thing I can think now I consider this is what's on our plate probably does reflect how we feel about our health and fitness. Most certainly. If there is good food on our plates, then we are probably in a happy place and feel happy about our own situation. If there is unhealthy food on our plates, probably not. However, if there is unhealthy, fatty, buttery food on your plate, you may well be in the middle of a celebration. So if it's expensive and fatty, you're in a celebration. If it's really cheap and fatty, you're not caring about your health.
Okay, second question. What do you think about those?
What is that? Torta? Chocolate? Chocolate cake?
It's like a brownie. Actually, my daughter made them with Nutella. But looking at it, since you're the MasterChef judge, how is that?
Well, that looks like a very, very light, fluffy sponge. Very, very well made indeed.
Okay.
If it was going to be on MasterChef, I think we'd need some more skill in presentation.
Yes.
But
okay.
But technically, it looks very well made.
Okay, I will let her know. Wonderful. You know, I'm really interested in the fact that you have been the judge of many MasterChefs competitions, right?
Yes, for 17 years.
How many do you reckon you've witnessed?
How many what?
MasterChefs competitions.
Well, there's been 3 a year for 17 years. So what's 3 times 17? 10, 20, 30, 7, 40, 20, 51. 51 different competitions.
So you have a lot of experience with champions. In your view, what is the main ingredient to become a champion?
That's a really good question. I think it's only effort. That's all it is. Who is prepared to make the most effort? Because if what is true on MasterChef is true of life, and I've got a feeling it is, it's not the person who is the best at the start who wins. It's the person who learns the most and the quickest, and who is willing to put in the homework, who is willing to work on things away from the television studio. So that's what it's about, effort. You know, you can achieve anything you want with effort. If I suddenly decided right now that what I really wanted to do more than anything else was to play the flute or go to the moon, and I just channeled all my energies into that, I could do that.
I just love what you're saying. To become a master in anything, effort is required.
I think that's it. I think that really is it. In life, wow, life has so many different roads and avenues. So you can't say effort will get you love. Definitely in business and money, I think it's effort and other things.
What other ingredient do you think is behind becoming a champion, a winner?
I think it's only effort. I think it's only effort, and also to work on your weaknesses, not just your strengths. Everybody wants to go into the kitchen and do things that they know really well because they're comfortable with it. It's about challenging yourself, identifying what your weaknesses are, what's likely to come up in the competition that you are weak at. Work on your weaknesses. Yeah, okay, add to your strengths, but make sure you work on your weaknesses and being able to identify them straight away.
It's a beautiful metaphor for life, actually, to recognize our weaknesses, becoming aware of it and saying, hey, you know, I got to work on that.
Well, with life, I think, but it really, this is such a massive conversation because what is it that you want? I think, first of all, psychologically, if you know actually what it is you want, then you have a far better chance of reaching your goals. And you can change those goals every 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 2 years, if you like. But to have a goal, to actually sit down, let's say money, for example. Everybody says, I want money. Right? I want money. How much do you want? That's not enough to say I want. How much do you actually really want? Write it down. Write down what it is, how much you want. Then write down the steps that you have to take to get there. And just keep on looking at that bit of paper. And I don't know why, your brain will just take you there. Now, you're the expert in this, not me. That works for me.
I love it. So, well, I have a question again about food, but I can't help it. How do you connect joy with food?
How do I?
Is there a thread between living a joyful life and food?
Whoa, you've got to be careful that the joy that you find in food doesn't actually make you unhealthy, because that's what I had. You know, I was so immersed in rich food that it actually made me very overweight.
Wow.
And I would have been unwell. So I think you have to keep that joy that you get from rich, fatty foods, sugary foods, creamy foods, but they have to just be celebratory foods. They can't be your everyday life. In the end, I think you need to develop a joy of healthy food.
Say that again, please. I love that. I love what you just said. In the end?
Yeah, eventually you have to find, you don't forsake your joy of salty, buttery, creamy, sugary foods. You still keep them.
Right.
but they are there like a present to be unwrapped, to be enjoyed. They can't be your everyday life. If I bought you a bunch of flowers, you would be overwhelmed. If I gave you one twice a day, every day, in the end, you wouldn't find the same joy in it. And that's the same as rich foods. What is interesting for me is this turning you, because I've lost a lot of weight. I've lost 4 stone.
I can see that.
I'm now healthier and fitter than I've ever been in my life. And what interests me is how we eat and how we drink. And do you drink wine? I suggest you do. And men who drink beer.
I don't. I stopped. I had actually an acute pancreatitis myself, so I can't drink anymore.
Well, I want people to recall how they felt when, as a child, they stole a sip of beer or a sip of wine to see what all the adults were doing and how disgusting it tasted.
Yeah.
But we convinced our bodies to like what we at first perceived as disgusting because we thought we should do it in order to be the same as the grown-ups, the people we admire. If you can convince your body that something that first tastes disgusting is nice, then you can far more easily turn your body back into recognizing that what is healthy tastes even better. It's an easier journey.
I totally agree.
Other thing, people say, if we go out, or people, they don't do it anymore. But when I started to lose weight, people would order a dessert and they would say to me, "Oh, you're not allowed to have this, are you?" And I would say, which is such a strange thing to say. And I would say, well, yes, I'm allowed to have it. I'm going to make the decision not to.
You know, what you're saying is really interesting because, like, one of my things that I'm really passionate about and that I've been working with is a lot of people with eating disorders. So I've helped people with serious anorexia or bulimia, but a lot of people that came to me had eating disorders. And what I found that worked is that to give them permission to eat and say, don't say, I can't eat that, I can't have dessert. Even when you are on a so-called diet, which I don't like that term anyway.
Me neither.
I say, right? I say, you want to eat the dessert? Go for it. Make a ritual. Prepare the plate. Put the candle. Play the music. Most likely, you will stop eating it halfway through. Or if you do end up eating it, you won't feel that horrible feeling of guilt. You know, you'll feel like, okay, I have given myself permission. And it's okay if I've eaten dessert today. Like you said earlier, it's a journey. Becoming healthy, eating healthy for the sake of our own health, it's a journey. It cannot happen like this, you know?
No, this is why I really don't like the idea of diets. I really hate the idea of trying to change your life for a limited period. I really hate. Why would you want to do that? That's obviously not comfortable. What I firmly believe in are gradual steps that move you into a healthier you over time. These diets just seem odd to me, weird to me. If you can't actually imagine yourself living like that for the rest of your life, then don't embark upon it.
Don't do it at all, right?
Yeah.
I agree, because, you know, all of those yo-yo diets, you go do it and then you maybe put on back the whole weight again, and then it's like you feel worse than when you started.
Yeah. No, I just want, in fact, I was considering, actually, I am now having conversations about starting a website or an app to just help people with healthier eating, because everybody asks me how I did it. It's as if it's a mystery for people that they need the answers to. And it's actually not much of a mystery, is it? I think people more and more, I believe it's about psychology than it is anything else.
It is.
Also, if you consider being healthy having to give up foods, that's not the right place to be mentally. You shouldn't be giving up anything. You should be making the choice to not have it. You don't want to be staring at it, beating yourself every time your hand touches it. You don't want to be buying it in the first place. Somebody said to me, What do you do about willpower? I keep going to the fridge and eating bad things. Well, it's really obvious, isn't it? Make sure there aren't bad things in the fridge. I really want to help people because it's such a basic thing, and it seems to confuse so many people. And there's so much bad information out there. Do you know why I believe there are so many diets on the market? Is that everybody, or many people, are looking for a way that they can have their takeaway pizza, their takeaway curries, and their takeaway burgers, kebabs, fish and chips, and drink their wines and drink their beers and still lose weight. Well, that doesn't exist. This is why people go, what tips can you give me? What's the secret? There is no secret. There is no secret. Cut down the booze, stop doing the takeaways, start cooking healthy food, and get some exercise. You will feel amazing.
Yes.
This is why people go, well, I want to do this diet. Well, I don't eat carbs, or I starve myself 3 times a week. Or maybe if I put my left finger in my ear and stood on one leg and barked like a dog. I mean, you can't eat and drink whatever you want and then take a tablet on a Saturday morning. It won't work.
It's not about the easy way. It's about really loving yourself, loving your body, and acknowledging this amazing mechanism that we have.
And look, I don't want everybody to just eat lettuce leaves and slices of oranges. There are so many delicious things that you can eat. You just have, yeah, there are. It's just, I do another series called Eat Well for Less, where I go around the country helping people save money on their shopping. And I've done this for 6-7 years. Now, when I hear people say, I don't have time to cook, I've heard it so many times. Now what that translates to me is, actually, I don't know how to.
Yeah.
We don't know how. So I'd like to help people with that as well. I just want to show people how easy it is to put simple meals together. My life is about eating well, and I cook every day, and I eat nice food, and I indulge every now and again, and I exercise every day. And I just really want to get that message out there, that it's not about giving things up. It's just about becoming gradually a different person, step by step, day by day, making yourself a healthier you. I'm going to tell you, before we go, I'm going to tell you a joke about 2 Sicilians.
About
because
what?
You're 2 Sicilians.
Okay.
Because you're a Southern Italian, so you will understand this. All right?
Okay.
One day, Sicilian man, he wakes up, he looks outside his door, and there is a thick fog across the Straits of Messina, a thick fog. And he bangs on the door of his neighbor, and he says, there's a massive problem. His neighbor says, what is the problem? He said, you see that fog? He said, yes. He said, Europe is now isolated. You like that joke?
Yeah, you're funny too.
Right.
Hey, it's been absolutely a great pleasure talking to you, Gregg Wallace. And you can find out more about Gregg on www.greggwallace.com, correct?
No, just go to my Instagram account. Just go Gregg A. Wallace and just find Gregg Wallace on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
And you'll find pictures. I've got a year-old baby boy, a beautiful Italian wife, and the mother and father live here. There's a big Italian family here in my farmhouse in the country.
That's beautiful. Grazie, Gregg. I'll keep in touch.
Arrivederci.
Ciao, bello. Grazie.
Bye.
Ciao. I really hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe. Thank you, and see you again with some more Zooming.